place. You're from the neighborhood, Spider-Man. Peter Parker here. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to reveal my identity, am I? Sorry. Oh well. Ah! No, it's me, everybody. That's okay. It's just Chef D, 26.
Here to save the day.
Yes, here to save the day. My niece, Zunigs. And right now we just saw Spider-Man Homecoming. And man, this was actually pretty good Spider-Man.
I love the plot line.
And I
gotta say, line was amazing.
Yeah. Gotta say, it's a way better example of Spider-Man than the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was pretty much dog shit. And this one, they actually be able to believe in your characters. Peter Parker, did they develop his character? Yes, they did. They did actually a very good job.
Yes.
And in this one, they actually have him in high school. He's actually 15 years old.
Or sophomore.
Or a sophomore, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was at like what, an advanced technical institute of science or something like that.
Yeah,
school.
he was real smart.
He was with those really super smart kids.
Yes.
And I gotta say, like they were talking about.
5.
Yeah, well, this is a rating, but I'm gonna say that they were talking about things that I had no idea what they were doing. It's like more advanced than me. I'll tell you that right now. But gotta say that Tom Holland did play was it Peter Parker in Spider-Man. He did a very good job.
He did.
And they showed that he was smart
natural.
in chemistry, science. He had to do all the normal things that Spider-Man would do.
Yeah.
And was he funny? Yeah, he was somewhat funny.
I thought he was pretty hilarious, but then he was like of course showing like a kid, so you have to have that mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had to juggle between being, you know, Peter Parker, who's always going in high school, and being Spider-Man. And say who, like, you know, the villain who's played, the Vulture, who's played, Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton did a very good job on this one. Very good job.
They honestly got some real good actors. Like everybody knows as Childish Gambino. I don't know his actual real name, the rapper or whatever, who sings Redbone and all that good stuff. He was in it. Let's see, Zendaya, one of the Disney stars characters, she was in it as well.
And they actually had a lot of stars in this one. I didn't really know the Disney stars, and I just know the old school stars. You know?
Yeah, but it was awesome. And who played his aunt?
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
She did a very good job in
Even
this one.
playing an older lady, she was still hot.
Yeah, she was more of the supporting actress in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie.
Of course.
He did a good job just playing the typical Tony Stark, doing all kinds of weird shit.
As we know Oz. Let's see. This is it was really good. The story, the plot line, the good character development, because Spider-Man pretty much is going. This is learning his struggles and learning more of his powers, pretty much. So, which is a really good development. They did not speed on it. I know. Usually, it's like. No.
They developed his character very well, like you said earlier.
And of course, the famous Stan Lee was in there for his part.
Oh, that's spoilers. No spoilers.
But of course, obviously in every Marvel movie, he's always in a part.
Yeah.
So it was pretty awesome.
The special effects, I gotta say, were very, very good in this one. The plot, we did get the plot. Very good acting, I might add. So, what... We could just go ahead and wrap it a review, because that's pretty much what it was. We just went to go see what it was.
Good,
so right now, I
give
it a good solid 4 out of 5. This is a very good Spider-Man movie. And would it compare to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man? Maybe. No, because this one they actually got a very young character to play Spider-Man.
Than the actual first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So right now we'll just wrap up the quick review, and we'll go right into spoilers. Yeah! I feel like biting and talking like this. So, anyway, right now this is a spoiler talk now, so let's get right into it. So, before Michael Keaton's character became the Vulture, he was just a regular construction worker or worked at a lot of weird shit. Yeah. So they show what happened 8 years ago in the events of New York when the first Avengers film came up.
Exactly.
They were doing basically the cleanup. They're getting rid of all the shit. Then all of a sudden, some guys came in, the higher ups came and said, "You guys are all relieved. Drop all the technology, all the shit that you've already collected, and just leave."
And we have to just handle business from here.
Yeah, and he got upset with it, you know. He really did, because there's guys here that he hired, he put down his own money, and guys with families that he wanted to protect.
Yeah, and he says he goes into the main lady that tells them, like, hey, like, you need to get rid of this scene, give all the stuff back and everything. He was like, no, try to convince her, like, no, we have families to feed, I just barely bought all these trucks, all that stuff, and then she still tells him, well, you're pretty much screwed, that sucks for you. pretty much.
And who is in charge of this? He said Tony Stark. And so you're like, fuck, oh, Tony Stark, okay. So right there and then, he decides to keep that technology from the aliens who invaded, and he used that to create weapons, makeshift weapons, custom-made weapons, really powerful ones.
Yes.
And they show a little bit of that in the trailer when they're robbing the bank, and they show Spider-Man sitting there like, hey, I know you, you're the Avengers. Wait, you're not the Avengers. And it's just
storyline so far was in the beginning, of course, the truck, whatever, gets found, all the equipment, and they decide to make a business from it. What they do is sell, they make advanced technologies with the aliens' technologies with our technology, combined it together and made weapons and sell them for like the black market or under the table type stuff. And as so pretty much the business, it was like after they found the truck, it was 8 years later, and 8 years later the guy's successful. What was the actor's name? Not Michael, but his character though.
I actually forgot, but don't worry. We'll be displaying all the names and all that on the screen. Don't worry about that.
So the Vulture, whatever, pretty much. So his business is a success, and that's where, from all that alien technology and the combination of human technology, pretty much, he made his suit. That's where the Vulture came from. Yeah. He made his suit, and he comes swooping, all Mr. Badass over here, cool, which is awesome.
I gotta say, the wings,
I loved it.
His mechanical wings were pretty badass.
The whole suit was awesome.
And the mask, the green eyes, the technology they used just to do it. Because what they used, the steel things, they made like a small portal so you can get into places where you can't get into. Exactly. Like basically a safe if you want to get cash, or an armored truck, like which they were breaking into a lot of in this movie.
Oh yeah, especially with the armored trucks, like because there's like 4 like pebbles or stones. I don't know, it was weird, and he'll like place them in like a square and make a portal.
And he'll drop down, get the shit, and get out, and that's pretty much how we made profit. And it was very profitable, and it showed.
Yep, and even he was still like Tony Stark's Enterprises equipment and all kinds of stuff like that for a while.
Yeah, it was better than Tony Stark's industries, basically, like that.
Yes, of course, exactly. And so how Spider-Man came to find out about this rare weapons, or all these weapons getting sold, is because there's a bank robbery going on, and then next thing you know, this guy's like, oh, I told you this will make it easier, this stuff 10 times better and stuff, and then they open the little bank thing, steal the money, and then that's when the robbers, 4 of them were wearing the Avenger masks. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, pretty much, and so Spider-Man's like, hey, it's the Avengers, and then just goes and beats him up from there. Yeah. And like the ray gun or whatever that gun was starts getting out of control, shooting, and he's all, whoa, what the hell's that? And stuff like that. And pretty much like the deli, like there was a deli across the street from the bank, and it's a real good friend of his, a good friend of Spider-Man's or whatever. And that place gets blown up, so Spider-Man gets worried for his friend, so he goes and leaves and saves this big fluffy cat, which was adorable, and also his friend as well from that explosion, that store being exploded. So
yeah, and then one of those weapons falls down, and he gets a hold of one of those weapons. He sees what's causing it is this little purple gem that they took off one of those flying jets in the first Avengers. And he was looking, and he was realizing this thing has a lot of potential. He can do a lot with this. And it was
because it was like a little explosion gem. Like
well, if you mix it with radiation and it has like a little small delay, then it will explode. Yes. Well, I thought it was gonna be like boom, big one, but it didn't. It was just like a little small one.
Yeah, especially when it blew up. And where was that?
It was they were at the Washington Monument.
Yes. And
they were supposed to go there for like a little tournament or something like that. For smart kids, answer questions.
Yeah.
It was they went all the way up.
Yeah,
decathlon. Yeah. And then of course they were up there. The thing started going off in his backpack, gonna cause the elevator to drop down. And of course Spider-Man goes in there, and of course he saves everybody easily. But it's how he saves everybody. It was actually pretty cool. And the way they show the view from being that high up of the tower is fucking pretty sick.
Honestly, I was starting to get all like nervous there. I was like, oh my god.
Like, wow, it's pretty good. Yeah, because we saw it in IMAX 3D and seeing everything like that pop out.
It was not too bad on IMAX 3D. I really enjoyed it, so I do recommend seeing 3D. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very cool seeing 3D.
It's really intense, and then also, like, where else?
Now, the Spider-Man suit was given to him, of course, by Tony Stark, and that thing was worth millions of dollars. And there was so many cool features on there that he had disabled, and Parker wanted to like get those things undisabled, and then when he did that, there were so many cool features.
Oh yeah.
Like there was like intimidation mode or different types of web slinging mode,
like a web taser,
web bombs, and stuff like that. It was really more of like a training. He had a voice just like Jarvis would be for Iron Man in his suit, like talking to him, stuff like that. It was very cool.
Karen. So it was awesome, because pretty much Tony Stark or Iron Man himself, pretty much was babysitting him. He was mistreating him like a child, and not letting him be grown. And there's this thing called the Stark internship or something like that. Yeah, the internship or whatever he gets offered, or Spider-Man gets offered. So he does be his little mentor and stuff, and he tries to go, like, he keeps bothering, because he has a mentor too that Stark assigned him with, named Happy. And Happy was there to track him, where he's going, and what he's doing, pretty much.
Happy was pretty much being a dick to him. He was trying to, hey, something's going on, but he wouldn't listen. Either would Tony Stark. They were just... They were
treating him like a child. They wanted him safe and not kill himself.
Yeah, and Peter was getting very frustrated about this, Mm-hmm. And there's one scene when, on the boat, I thought the boat scene was very cool.
That was really cool.
And,
because he had, like, a tracking device, so everywhere... where Peter would go, Happy or whatever, would call them, be, hey, where are you going? And so he got tired of it, so he figured out he hooked his suit to like computer and stuff like that.
His laptop, something like that.
And disables the tracking thing and takes off the tracker and puts it on a lamp. And he goes and he ventures off, but that's the reason why he goes to Washington, D.C. Because he goes and he ventures off to find out where are these weapons or who's the main guy all this stuff is coming from.
Yeah.
So after that, pretty much they go to this boat, and like Tony Stark calls him and he's like, hey, I apologize, but what you did back there for saving the decathlon team, because as they're getting elevated up to the top of the monument, that explosion happened.
Yeah, and he's trying to apologize like that, but Peter's like, hey, no, I'm in the middle of something, I gotta go. Like, don't hang up on me like that. But he's trying to bust these guys in the process.
Yeah.
So he hangs up on him because he wanted to bust the guys. And then of course Michael Keaton was there. That's the Vulture. I really don't know his name in the movie. So Peter sees him, and then of course he gets suited up, and that's when he webbed up his gun and went on the fucking boat, and that's when the boat got cut in half. It wasn't like the Vulture did it himself intentionally, just that the gun was taken from him.
Yeah,
and that scene was very cool when he had to pull the boat together, struggling to do it, but he almost did it. He was like 98% complete over the headset. Really, 98%? And then all the fucking webbing started breaking off. And then he started to, Captain America. Yeah. And, of course, Iron Man shows up, has all these little tiny things, push the boat together, and he welds it shut. I honestly thought that the boat would have sank for the first time, because if it's cut in half, the damn thing's going to go down.
It's fall apart, but he was able to use his strength. And
it was Hollywood magic to keep that thing up that much right now. So.
Oh, yeah, it was. But it was pretty cool, and then, like, what ends up happening, because the webs start to fail, that's when Iron Man comes in. He's like, oh yeah, you were just in swimming or whatever, or he's like something. He was like, oh, you're at school, huh, or something like that. To that.
Oh, you're at school and you were in detention and you left that. And so he decided to get he did that. So Tony gets upset with him. He wanted to take the suit from him because you're not really using it correctly. Because you're mismanaging. You hacked into it. You got rid of the tracking devices for your own protection. And if something happens to you, it makes me feel like I failed you. And he would tell that to Peter. And Peter would be like, give me a chance. But, he's not really listening. He's trying to tell him about what's going on about weapons.
And it's funny because, like I said, Tony Stark, he'll be like, oh my god, I sound like my dad. Or, oh my god, I feel like you're your dad and everything and stuff like that. It's funny, but...
Yeah, it was pretty good. And, of course, Peter, got rather pressed and...
Or trying to live his life as a kid again.
Yeah.
As a high school sophomore teen again, because he takes Tony Stark takes away his Spider-Man suit, saying, "Well, if you're not going to protect yourself or listen to what we have to say, pretty much we're going to take this away from you."
Yeah.
And he says he's nothing without a suit, and that's the main key. If he's nothing without a suit, then he doesn't. Or that's what Peter said. He's nothing without a suit, and Tony Stark told him, "Well, if you feel like you're nothing with your suit, then you're like not a real. You don't deserve it. If you don't think you're anything without it, then you don't deserve it."
Yeah, so pretty much throughout the whole movie, Peter's trying to prove that he can be a good hero. The whole movie he's trying to get back on a mission for the Avengers. He wants to join the Avengers, but of course, Tony won't let him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, it's prom, and Peter asks out what's her name, the crush that he had on in the trailer.
Liz.
Yeah,
that's her name. Liz.
So he went to go pick her up. He's all dressed up, he's got a corset and all that shit like that, or corsage or something like that.
Yeah, it's a corsage.
Yeah, a corset.
Yeah, I was like, you're wearing a corset? I was like, cross-dressing?
Yeah.
But,
Peter's hiding out underneath the spider suit, yeah. So, he goes there, then he opens the door, and lo and behold, it's her dad, and who is it? It's Michael Keaton, it's the Vulture.
Yep.
And
like,
of course, Michael Keaton's like, oh, you must be Peter, like that, because he has no idea who he is at first.
He doesn't.
But Peter's like,
oh, shit.
And he's shocked through the whole damn scene in there, and he goes and meets his mom, meets Liz. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do nothing. That's what I want to hear. Yeah.
He was all pre-oppression, and he wouldn't even touch his daughter. He wouldn't give her a hug or anything. He was just like staring at Michael Keaton, like, oh my god, it's you, dude. Yeah. Like, it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, and like even taking pictures, like I said, he wouldn't stand close to poor Liz, and Liz like, come on, and then she's like, leave him alone, Dad. She's like, let him, like, not, and then all kinds of stuff. So pretty much the Vulture was the like the ride to the prom or whatever.
Yeah.
And so as they are going to the prom, pretty much like Michael Keaton or the Vulture asks Peter Parker. He's like, oh well, what are you gonna do once you get out of high school? And once you get out of high school, and he's like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, well, you would think you have a future plan and stuff like that. And then his daughter kind of jumps in and it's like, oh, yeah, well, he's internet Stark Enterprises and stuff. And he's like, oh, really?
Oh, really?
So,
like, that's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it was like, oh, and then he's a friend of not Batman. Ooh, my wrong person. But,
wrong brand.
Yeah.
They say there, little lady. Yeah, but as he's talking, Mike Keaton's character starts to recognize his voice. Like, wait a minute, because he's sitting there driving. Like, wait a minute. Like he starts to recognize that. Wait a minute.
Like,
he's Spider-Man, and when he lets him know, like he drops off Liz. Liz, go ahead, go inside. I'm gonna talk to Peter here. Dad talk. Like that. So he goes around. So. Like he doesn't say who he is. Like what does he say?
He doesn't say, but he already knows. Peter Parker already knows. Like,
he pulls a gun like that and goes,
"Hey, and pretty much he goes. He's like, so.
I thank you for saving my daughter, but right now, if you interfere with any of my business ever again, I will kill you and anybody that you care about, your friends, your family. I will do this.
Yep, and
so they gave him one last warning, basically.
Yeah, and like Peter Parker was like trying to play it smart. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what the hell? Playing clueless and stuff. But his dad's like, oh, you're pretty much you're Spider-Man. Like,
yeah. I mean, he doesn't tell him, but he just tells him straight up. I know who you are, and just don't interfere. Yep. Stop it.
Yep.
Right now. A lot of money at stake, So not like that, but just it's cool that his character does survive. Michael Keaton's character gets busted by the cops because he was just going for the technology. I mean, he had the chance to kill him because he had Parker right by his wing, and then he noticed to the right of his head, he saw the arc reactors of Tony Stark. He's like, you know what? I'll just toss him down. But it was this was a good movie. So
yeah, story, plot, and everything, and then pretty much Spider-Man, of course, saves the day, and pretty much what happens to the Vulture? He ends up going to jail and everything, and his Liz, and that's Spider-Man's or Peter Parker's freaking girlfriend. Pretty much, he has the biggest crush on her and everything, and
they have to move because they don't want to be there for a trial and everything like that.
No, yeah. Yeah, so. They don't want to be there for trial and all that stuff, and they get caught up, and of course their family finds out the truth, and that's when Peter Parker goes up to Liz towards the end of the movie and was like, hey, he's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, you're always apologizing for everything. She's like, what are you sorry about?
He's always disappearing, away from it, basically, coming up with excuses.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know he's going to be Spider-Man, save the day.
Yeah.
But they don't know that. They just see Parker coming and going, getting in trouble, going into detention. Or almost getting expelled.
Yeah, and he was able to convince the school to go back to school and everything.
Yeah.
So, it was a good movie. enjoyed it a lot. Storyline and everything was amazing. His aunt was so sweet.
Yeah, she was down to earth. Marissa Tomei, who played Aunt May.
Yes,
basically.
Aunt May.
Yes.
She was so awesome.
The Vulture in the comic books, he played an old man like Mike Keaton's character did, but he would like create technology where he would steal people's youth, and he could become young again. That's what happened. I remember watching that in an old school 90s cartoon.
Well, I'm thinking about maybe if they make another Spider-Man, which I believe they will, because it shows kind of towards the end that Michael Keaton's in prison now.
Yeah, that was one of the end credit scene right there. They show him in prison.
Yeah, they show him in prison, and like another villain came up and he's like, oh, well, Peter Parker put me here, or Spider-Man, he doesn't know him as Peter Parker. So yeah, and I heard a little rumor that you actually know who the person is, and he's all, well, if I knew who the person was, they'll already be dead.
And he walks off, he has a smile.
Mm-hmm.
Like
so
that.
maybe they'll probably he'll escape, and that's when he'll find that stuff again and does all the youth stuff, probably.
I'm thinking, now that all the alien technology is out there, that's what's going to cause a lot more of these villains to appear. Like everybody say, from Green Goblin,
because
Doc
who
Ock.
sold them to? Like, think again to who
over the years,
he found out. Yeah, for
over
8 years.
So
now, no wonder why they made that a big title for 8 years. Because I wonder who else they sold.
They can easily make
to.
they can easily make run off of new villains or Rhino or any other character that they have in the Marvel universe for Spider-Man to go against because of that technology. And I think that's a very interesting way to bring in new characters that way from the Avengers, from the first one, from all the alien technology. Because and they also showed like Ultron's head when he was going through the bag and shit like that. It was funny. They show a few Easter eggs in here too. I remember.
So it was Ultron's head. Okay,
yeah,
I thought it was
because he just picked it up. What's this? And he threw it like that.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was trippy for a second, but then I was like, nah, okay, it's not. Like,
it was him. Cause I was thinking
okay.
like, okay, that's cool. That is Ultron's head right there. And Captain America is in the movie, but he's only like in video
counseling,
clips. Yeah,
like counseling, and
he's like, you're in detention. Why? Because you didn't follow the rules. You know, simple stupid shit like that.
Yeah, and even like for the gym and stuff like that. Yeah, like a editorial, like a teacher in educational programming videos. Yeah, it was one of those.
It was very good.
And I started laughing because we were waiting for the end credit.
The very, very end credit. Because there's always a mid-end credit scene, which they showed was the one with Michael Keaton, and there was the main end credit scene where everybody in the audience was waiting for it. Because everybody was sitting there like this, waiting to see what was going to happen. And then he pops out. So patience could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing, like that or something like that.
Yeah, he's all like, why would I sit here through the whole ending credits and there's nothing there and stuff like that? And then he's all like, sorry guys, like.
Yeah, you pretty much say, hey, this is all you're gonna get, basically, right here.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't show like something that's gonna lead on, but we already know what's coming next, and that's Black Panther, because they showed that in the credits before the movie started. So
I know, I'm excited for Black Panther.
I wonder what they're gonna show in Black Panther. You know.
I had no idea till the movie's like more.
Yeah.
Like intuitive and start showing other parts.
They did show Pepper Potts in this one. Tony and her got back together again.
Yes.
They did.
Yes, they
and did. She popped out of the room with a bunch of reporters.
Oh yeah, because towards the end when he did.
They show a badass Spider-Man suit because he brought him over there. He wanted Tony wanted to apologize and make him an Avenger. Finally, what Peter always wanted. So he also showed him this brand new suit, because the suit that he had originally was millions of dollars. This one looked fucking sick. It was like almost gold and platinum.
Yeah, and like
this thing had to be worth billions. It was almost like an Iron Man spider suit.
Yeah.
It looked really cool.
Exactly.
And he offered him this and a room next to Vision, which he doesn't use doors. He doesn't. So, but Peter was thinking, "Wow, this is great," but the answer is no. I don't want to take this.
Yeah, because he goes and Tony Stark tells him, he's like, okay, well. Put on the spider. He's all, go for it. Put on the spider suit. There's 50 news people over there. I'm going to introduce you right away. And so he sits there and thinks about it, and he was like, no, thank you. I appreciate it. And he walks back and he turns around and he's all, is this the test, right? Yeah, he's all, this the test. And then Tony Stark is like, yes, it's a test. Good job. I'm proud of you.
And then, of course, that's when Pepper Potts walks in. But Peter's walking off by this. He doesn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
And then, of course, you open the door. You see guys there with the camera.
Yeah.
Doing that, so I was like, okay, so he really did want to do that. And that kind of blew up in his face. So
yeah, so he just wanted to play it off like, yeah, it's a test. It got you, dude. Like, trick you, you know. It was funny. And, like, so they're all, what are we going to do now? And everything, they're all, what are we going to do now? And so
Happy's like, I got this ring. I've been holding it for 8 years. And they're both looking at him like, really? For 8 years?
But it was a good movie.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
There were some funny parts, and I thought some of the jokes too.
I love his friend.
His friend Ned.
Yeah, Ned.
The one who was helping him out with the tech stuff like
he's
that.
Like, I could be the chair. He's like, I could be the chair guy.
Yeah.
He's like, the chair guy. He's like, yeah, the chair guy, like the one who guides you when you can't see anything and stuff. You know, the chair guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't need a chair guy.
Yeah.
So, or he'll ask him. He's like, can you lay eggs? He's like, can you lay eggs? He's like, can you summon an army of spiders? Like, he'll, like, ask him so many questions. He's like, oh, shut up.
Come on, I'm over here.
Yeah, he's like, shut up, Ned. And then his friend wears his mask, and he's, like, all chilling. They're all right. It was awesome. I loved his friend.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll bring back Michael Keaton. Because, you know, he's good at it. If you can have somebody that plays Beetlejuice and Batman and come over to Marvel, you're good to go, man. So you have to bring him back.
Yes.
And also, they should set up guys like Doc Ock or Electro, not have like Jamie Foxx's character be created by.
Was cool.
I mean, he was cool, but being created by eels, you know, was one thing, you know. But
I liked it.
Or the Green Goblin, you know, they have all these characters introduced, and how can they introduce with all these cool weapons that they have, like in the comic books with alien technology they're showing. So yeah, Tom Holland did a good job. Michael Keaton did a good job. Marissa Tomei, Robert Downey Jr. of course, and
Zendaya, Charles Gambino.
All of them did a really good
characters.
job. They all did a good job. Tom Holland did a very fantastic job. And you know, my final verdict right now would be a solid 4 web actions out of 5. I missed, but it's okay.
But no, mine would be 4 out of 5 too. With the action though, if just the action stuff, that would be
the
5.
action was good. I gotta say that it was very good. There was like 3 action scenes. Well, 3 main action scenes, like the
boat scene.
The boat.
Of course the ending.
And
then when they first introduced
the Washington Monument wasn't really a battle, but it was more of a rescue scene.
Yeah, but it was still pretty intense.
Yeah, it was very intense. Yeah, I mean,
intense.
Other than that, yeah, that was the main plot. You know, just stopping technology, getting out of hands, just like they did in Iron Man 1. Because Obadiah Stane was stealing the technology to sell, and that's exactly what he was doing here. And Parker was just trying to look for respect from Tony. It was very good. So Marvel, once again, you did a very good job at leaving fucking DC in the dust. Because right now, next movies are Justice League without introducing all the characters.
It's gonna be rushed again.
Yeah.
I hope
so
it's not, but I'm worried. But I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah, we're gonna check it out, and we're gonna let you know how that movie goes. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Shifty 26. Zunigs right here. So check y'all next time. Peace.
Later.
Oh no! There's everybody. Thanks for watching, okay?